All right, sounds good. Okay, let's go. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the District of Brown Deer School Board meeting. Today is Tuesday, November 11th, and I call this meeting to order at 6:03 p.m. Verification of a public notice. Meeting has been publicly noticed. Verification of a quorum. We have 6 of our 7 members in attendance this evening. Approval of the agenda. Would someone like to make a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
Approve the agenda as presented.
Thank you very much, Ms. Robinson. Motion has been made. Do we have a second?
Absorption.
All right, thank you very much. Ashley, all right, folks, any discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all in favor, raise hand and or aye. Any opposed? Hearing and seeing none, motion carries 6-0. And the reading of our mission statement is through the lens of excellence, equity, and engagement. We are dedicated to empowering every student with essential skills to build a foundation for lifelong learning. And our vision is to provide a rigorous education that empowers our students to confidently navigate in our ever-changing world. And I would like to announce now that our 7th member of our board has now attended. So for the next folks that come through, we are good to go. All right. Now, with that being said, business office reports. Ms. Paul.
Good evening, board.
Good evening.
3 things on the update for the business office. The first API reporting. Our annual report was submitted September 19th on time. And our special education annual report was submitted on October 15th. Both are still pending API review. I have our treasurer's report. Everything is trending as we would expect so far. I'll keep you updated if you have any anomalies or anything going on beyond that. And then just with the business office staff, we've been working on performance goals. A lot of our goals are around the idea of becoming more modern as a business office. We use a lot of paper. Our processes are a little bit antiquated, so this week I'll be meeting with individuals and we'll work on how to get our business office up to date so that we're doing things a lot more efficient. And that's all I got.
Okay, short and sweet. Board members, any questions for Mr. Paul in relationship to any of the budgetary or financials?
Food in my mouth, but I just want to say thank you for making all the time.
Let's go on to our next item, approval of new hires, Ms. Jackson.
Good evening, board. Tonight I do not have any new hires to report.
All right, let's go on to item C. Any resignations?
I do not have any resignation to report.
Life is good. All right, thank you for that great report, Ms. Jackson. We appreciate you. All right, let's go on to our item number 3, our fostering academic accountability. Would that be Dr. Glass or would it be Dr. Cott?
I can start off. I just have a few words. Good evening, board. This evening, the administration would like to share the results of our state assessment data. And I would like to ask Ms. Dana Rosman, our district math coordinator and data and assessment coordinator, to walk us through the data for this evening. And so it's up on the screen. I think you should have it in your PowerPoint. Ms. Ross, if you would, I don't know, Dr. Glass, did you want to have? Are you good?
She's going to narrate the slide and then I'll do a follow-up once she presents. Thank you. Good evening, everybody. This presentation is a summary of our state assessment data as well as the school report cards that were just released publicly today. It's not working. It could be. Right. Is it, what did you want to do? I just wanted to go through the 4 pillars. We are focused on the pillar student learning and success. And the purpose is basically to go through what the state is seeing as our student achievement data. That will include some of our state assessments, as well as how we are comparing to the state of Wisconsin. So for the state assessment, the first one we're going through for third through eighth grade, the state looks at our Wisconsin Forward, and that includes grades 3 through 8. And for the high school, we'll be looking at the pre-ACT Secure grades 9 and 10, and the ACT grade 11, as well as AP exams. So first going through ELA, this will be your third through eighth grades, and then for 9 through 11, I'll go through all ELA first and then pivot to math. So this graphic, it's a one pager. It's a comparison between Brown Deer and the state of Wisconsin. So if you look at the left side, that is Brown Deer. It's 5 grades down the first column, and the second column is Brown Deer 2024. Then it's Brown Deer 2025, and the green and the red column, that is the change. So green would mean it's a positive change from 24 to 2025. And then on the right is the state of Wisconsin. That's their proficiency data, 24, 20, and 25, and their change. This is the percent of students that are meeting, are proficient or advanced in their assessments. So you'll see for third grade, I would read this as I would say in 2024, 49.1% of fourth graders were proficient in ELA. And in 2025, that increased to 58.1, which was a 9% increase. Where the state of Wisconsin increased by 0.2%.
So Ms. Robbins, just to make sure that we're looking at this correctly, 58.1% of our students in 2025, and the state average is 50.8. So we're basically 8 percentage points higher than the state average for third grade. For
Yes, we
ELA.
outperformed the state of
For
Wisconsin.
third grade, yep, okay. Yep. Just wanted to make clarify, just make sure. Good snaps, good snaps, good snaps.
So we'll just kind of let you peruse. So fourth grade, there was a positive increase where the state had a negative, had a decrease. Fifth grade, we had a slight dip at 0.2%, where the state had a bigger dip, 2.2. Sixth grade, we had a dip of 4.7, where the state had a smaller dip of 0.2. But as we go up, we look at seventh grade, we had an increase of 5.6, where the state only had a 2.1 increase. In eighth grade, we had an increase of 9.1, where the state had an increase of 3.7. Overall, BDE has 46% of their students proficient or advanced in ELA, and the state is at 52. For middle school, we had a 3.7 increase where the state had a 1.9. And as a district, we are at 44.4% proficient or advanced, where the state is at 51. This is each other.
Should I wait for questions?
Should I hold it?
We want to wait until the, Ms. Rosman, for your presentation and or Dr. Glass. You want to wait for questions after all the information has been done? Or would you rather it happen, go ELA for elementary school and then do the ELA for the middle school or for the high school? Which one would be the best for you?
I think that we can be organic because we have reduced our slides by a lot. So if she's going over a slide and you have a question, I think it would be appropriate to ask right away.
Board members, you guys agree with that? You good with it? Okay, so I'll take Ms. Welch. You have a question?
So my question is around fifth and sixth grade, right? So obviously it was a little bit of a trouble area for us, but it's overall with the state, right? And so I guess I'm just wondering what sort of that can attribute to what's happening around fifth and sixth grade.
Can I say-
Hold on one second. Go ahead and do that then if you
No, I was
need
gonna
to.
say, can I tag on to her question? Because it was the same in math. The latter part of your question.
Yeah, just like, I mean, so obviously like for us, it was an issue, right? But it's also looks like it's a statewide issue, right? And so what really is sort of, what can that be attributed to? Like, is there sort of some data that they're presenting or some reasoning that you all have found that this is sort of trouble spot at those grade levels?
One of the things that we're doing right now, I think Ms. Rosman has done over the past couple of years where was taking the standards, reducing the skills and the strategies, mapping backwards, right, to see what should be taught across those grade bands. In doing that work, she also found that students dealing with ability to deal with fractions from very, very low grades, interracials and all of those things have been a hindrance, not just for Brown Deer, but for many districts. And so her response, let's speak to her response to that finding.
So as a vertical, well, that's in math, that's not ELA, but
Right.
in math, we have a vertical math team at the elementary school, so they're focusing on creating a more seamless progression for students age kindergarten through fifth grade. The conversations they've been having have been rich. And the third grade team that continually outperforms the state is part of that work, working with our fourth grade teachers and fifth grade teams.
And then as it relates to English language arts, most of us hear that in grades K through third grade, students are learning to read. You've heard that slogan or statement before. And then from fourth beyond, they're reading to learn. So when it comes to critical analysis, deep thought thinking, there's a huge gap. So students need the ability to know the structure of literacy. And when I say the structure of literacy, being able to read a document and say, is this chronological? Is it first, second, third? Is it cause and effect? Because those things guide the depth of knowledge of the questions. And so with that, as an instructional team, we're working to build more curriculum and instruction around depth of knowledge free, right? And so we got into that in our second PL day, and then we'll have a follow-up session in February. So we know that it's a gap, and that's the way that we're attacking it.
I have a question. Have you all taken this data, and I'm gonna ask it like two different ways. Well, one for our students that have been with us for years, and two students that are new to the district. And so, like, how's that balance?
It's something that we're looking at. We're trying to find mobility rates, right? So students who start and stay at Brown Deer, how are they performing? It is data that we're scratching into, but we have not looked at, but it is something that we've requested to receive.
All right, any other questions? We can go on to Matt, all right? I mean, sorry, we're staying on ELA for middle school now?
So this
ACT?
is sticking with ELA, sticking with ELA, this is how Brown Deer 9th, 10th, and 11th graders compare to the state. I really can't speak to, the 9th and 10th graders, but I know as in 11th grade, we did go up on our ACT scores. We did push into financial lit classes and went through reading strategies with teachers. And during our last PL day, all high school ELA social study science teachers received professional learning around reading strategies to use for the ACT and the pre-ACT secure. Are there any questions on this slide?
One quick one, because these are actually the largest negatives compared to our information, all right? So I'm trying to look at this correlation. You got 5th and 6th grade where kids are actually kind of 6th grade, they're getting into middle school, 5th grade, they're, pre-middle school. And then also you look at your 9th and your 10th graders, which are basically with both sets of these grades levels are transitions. And I guess my biggest thing in relationship to this is we see kind of where we're at, and we're actually really, really, really low when it comes after the 9th and 10th grade. So from a high school standpoint, what are we looking at to try to give out more information, get our students more prepared, or is it more of a learning gap that's happening right now in relationship to the information that they're getting compared to the testing that they're taking? All right. I know we say no one says that they teach to the test. All right. Yeah, that's always sounds good, but I'm just wondering, for the relationship to that, do we have a strategy in place knowing where we're at right here? Like I said before, these are the lowest negatives that we have in relationship to this. And we also know that historically, ninth and tenth grade are going, ninth and tenth, fifth and sixth and ninth and tenth grades are going to be those grade levels where you have a little bit more of that transition, a little bit more of that change on how they have to study, how, how those tests are taken and the information that they've got to remember. So any ideas on what we're going to do to try to alleviate some of this?
When we met this summer, when we talked about the vertical alignment, we talked about delving into all types of questions and categorizing them. Our focus right now is starting as early as third grade with differentiating depth of knowledge. We're not where it's just surface, but it's deep. So if they see the word analysis, if they see the word judgment, they know exactly what it is and what it is that they have to do. They're getting sentence stems. And so we looked at the data, and that's our focus for the year. And it's my belief that with that work, with the support from building leaders, with the rollout that the coaches are doing, we believe that that deep learning will take place and will affect these scores, not only in English language arts, but also in social sciences and science.
Part of the walkthroughs that we've been conducting in the buildings are looking at questioning and techniques. That's a really big thing that we found. And so when they keep talking about DOK 1, 2, and 3, we're talking about that level of questioning that teachers are asking kids. Is it more just recall, making, very short? We're trying to get to what Dr. Glass is talking about, making kids do more of that critical thinking. We're talking about analysis, and we're talking about compare and contrast. That's what we're trying to do. I can tell you that just recently met with Ms. Brown in regards to this ACT, and this is still another focus for her when it comes to her goals for this coming school year. So I started to talk about so what are we doing? How do we prepare the students in ninth grade to know that that test really counts, right? Or are we just merely just giving it to them and expecting for them to know the importance of it? What are we doing as a staff to ensure that they know the magnitude of that, and that this is kind of starting off where you want eventually to go after you complete high school. So we had talked about, is it more Saturday stuff? Are we going to start bringing kids in on a Saturday? We had a little bit of a conversation about that, maybe a little different of philosophies, because I really believe in preparing them on Saturdays, having them come in and do that. And it's just something that we're going to work out, but she's very well aware of that. And I think it just kind of goes back to what we've been doing in our walks about how we're listening to how teachers are doing their instruction, because that's going to help us, level this playing field in regards to these scores that we're seeing.
Important to note here too, in ninth grade, this is their students' first state assessment that is timed. So in the Wisconsin board is an untimed test. They don't have to take it all in one sitting. They can come back and take it, finish it another time. So it is their first experience with a timed test. Also worthy to note, the changes to the ACT this year are noteworthy in the fact that the test will be shortened. The reading passages will be shorter. The students will have more time to complete each question. And you can take the ACT over 2 days. So the state does require you to take the ELA, the English, math, and reading portion of the ACT on one single day, but you could come back the next day and take science and writing. And we're hoping that the test that will help with the testing fatigue of students in that reading section that's really dropping these scores.
Do they take practice tests beforehand? And are those timed?
Yeah, I'm not sure if they're timed, but we have Methodize. We also have IXL that provide ACT questions. The ACT site also has practice tests that you can take. They're chunked smaller, so students can practice 10 at a time or whatever. But we are, again, part of the PL that we've done with teachers at the beginning of this school year, Shavala had time put into these days where teachers analyze the pre-ECT data. They looked at the strands where our students are underperforming and where they're overperforming. We are using reading techniques in our ELA classes and math techniques in our math classrooms. That's all new this year. So we're hoping that will shift some of our data.
Yes, because I know that timing could be a bit stressful. So if they're actually practicing with a timer, that could maybe help to make that deficiency not be so bad when they first do it.
All right, go ahead, Ms. Wilson.
Yeah. So, so then it's not required. It sounds like there's opportunities for them to do it, so they have to take the initiative to do the practice test. Is that what the right takeaway from that, right? Versus like, this is a requirement. We are all getting practices, right? Okay. Oh, I had another thought, but it'll come back to me.
But I do have a question too regarding, we're just talking about the ACT, right? And I know some students probably are writing off, I'm not going to college, why am I going to take this test? So they're not even putting the effort into, trying to do really well because it's not gonna materialize into anything for me, particularly if I'm gonna pursue, work, military or trades or what have you, right? So you've gotta kind of
Incentivize them, give them some kind of reward, because we also know, like, kid comes in like, this don't mean nothing, this don't go by a report card, this don't mean nothing. I'm saying, okay, I'll take it, whatever. And I think probably, I'm speaking pretty much how about the board is thinking is relationship to this is, we need to incentivize or make this something that's so special that they really understand the importance of these tests that they're taking, but also to our teachers understanding, like, again, if this is the first time they're really being timed on the test, but you know what, we probably need to have timers out there and being like, okay, we start doing work, not specifically just for the test, but we start doing certain things or whatever have you, and it's time. Like, even if it's like a little quiz or something. All right, guys, you got 15 minutes and the clock starts now. So they start getting used to being put on the clock or whatever and stuff. Because, if I've never done it before, I'm not thinking about the clock. And then if I do look up at the clock and I've never done it, all of a sudden now I'm called test anxiety, and now I'm like, just forget it. But I think the more and more that we turn around and we do it and we expose our kids to it, and being able to take a test in that manner or whatever have you, then I think it might be the better off that we are in relationship to some of this or whatever. So
One last thought about this too, is around, so I heard somebody say that, like, obviously the teachers are disaggregating this, right, and reviewing the data. But is that translating into a conversation with us to get like sort of, so they have a understanding about what this looks like for them, and then for them to be able to sort of give their feedback about what their experience is and what they may need out of it. So like, and even not just beyond the text, right? Like the everyday pieces of this, are we going sort of like, I don't know, some people call it like a coffee chat, or whatever, right? With the kids, just so that they understand, like, this is where you placed. This is what this indicates. What are your thoughts about this? How do you feel? We can help you, support you in this. So are those types of things happening with kids? So they have some voice in their own academic future?
Data chats have been proposed. One of the things that we're struggling with right now, or what teachers say that they are struggling with when it comes to data chat, is the time that is taken. And so again, what we have scheduled for February, our next PL day, the whole focus is on student feedback and clarifying misunderstanding. So it's a very important piece, and just helping them to understand that it doesn't have to be 15 minutes, it doesn't have to be 5 minutes, but what the teacher has to be sure about what he or she is saying, and the quicker it'll go. So it is on our needs list. It will be looking more.
It's going to be performed, you said it's gonna start then, or they're rushing out to do it?
That's where we're moving as a district. Right now, we cannot say that it's systemic or that it's even been initiated, but February, that's what our PD focus is.
Okay.
all right, Ms. Farrington, you had a question?
Yeah, did you have something?
Yes, Ms. Brown actually started this year student-led conferences with the ninth graders where they're showcasing what they're doing academically this school year. So they have a whole PowerPoint slide that they present to their parents on parent conference. So that should start making a way or paving that way for those conversations to happen as well.
Go ahead, Zach.
So just a comment, and I'm glad to hear you say that, because sometimes when we try to force the data chat discussion, it becomes forced. But if you flip it around and you're having the students leading those parent-teacher conferences, showcasing their work, that's a great way for students to kind of lean on to, you know, the stuff that they're working on in terms of class assignments and work, but testing as well, right? So we've got to kind of think about it from the vantage point of what is a young person thinking about when we're trying to ask them to take these standardized tests. And there are so many in the fourth.
Especially a fifth and sixth grader and a ninth and tenth.
Thank you, right? Like, and so when you can have a young person actually present their best work and then engage a discussion with their parents, not with the teacher leading the conversation, but with the student leading the conversation, I think we can kind of.
It helps them build that ownership of their
Thank
own work.
Yeah.
And also, even if you, let's say, I did totally off the student, I can say, well, I really struggled in this test. It was timed. I wasn't,
Yeah.
like, you're more aware of what's going on. And you can also say, the next time I'm going to do X, Y, Z. You can build on that with your growth.
Right, you know, and then I'm sitting, I just went back to when I was a Dominican in the ninth grade or whatever have you, we had a class. It was test taking, is it strategies of test taking or test taking strategies? It was one of the two, whatever one it was or whatever have you, and that was like worked wonders because it made you understand whether or not you got a test where you've got your A, B, C, D, if you've got the one where you've got to write it out, if you know if it's time, if it's, you know, all of those different things or whatever have you, and being able to take those test taking skills or whatever and being introduced to it. Potentially, could that be something that could be really, and we're really looking at these where our scores are lower, fifth and sixth grade, ninth and tenth? Is that something that we could turn around and do for like half a semester or something like that? Test taking strategies or how to take assessments or something like that. That's kind of, you know, kind of ingrained in our culture of what we do as a district. Is that something that potentially that we may be able to, Dr. Glass, and Ms. Robert, what do you guys think in relationship to something like that? And do you think that would be beneficial?
Beneficial, I think that it's possible depending on, you know, what the students. Their I don't want to say caseload, their class load is, because like you, my freshman year, I had a study effectiveness course that was coupled with test taking. For one semester for all freshmen, it was mandated. So we have to look to see if there's a state code for it, because for all the classes that we offer, there has to be an alignment state code with it, so
Right.
we can see if it's offered, and then if it's not.
Even if not, maybe that could be one of those.
I just want
Maybe
to,
if not, maybe that could be one of those, we started talking about these Saturdays, that maybe this could be a Saturday initiative or whatever have you. For all students that would like to be able to have the science of test taking or whatever have you. We've got like 3 or 4 different Saturdays or whatever for you to be able to take this test or whatever. I'm sorry, Ms. Robinson, yes, ma'am.
Yesterday we met with the juniors and we were talking about an incentive. So there is an incentive trip planned for those that increase their scores. But also Principal Brown asked the juniors if we offered ACT test prep after school, how many of you would be interested in? Lots of kids raised their hands. So we are in the process of planning that.
Perfect. Okay, I think we went Ms. Farrington first, and then we go to Ms. Mankin.
so my actually, Todd took what I was gonna say about test taking strategies, and it doesn't even have to be that deep off top. So when Haley, my oldest, we went to someplace up the street and had her do a testing opportunity. And the lady was like, "Oh, Haley, I noticed you didn't wear your watch." And I noticed when you guessed, your guessing was all over the place. Wear your watch and choose one guess answer, and she went up 2 points. So, I mean, it could be just strategies that you
Yeah.
implement until we can get that class.
Right, and so, again, we turn around doing it, and I know that Ms. Bacon was next. Ms. Bacon?
Yes, okay. I think we've had this conversation in the past where, if we know that they are learning to read in third grade and in fourth grade, they're reading to learn. It just seems like to me, I'm really kind of concerned with our fourth through the sixth grade. You can't even do what you're supposed to do, 7, 8, 9, 10, if you are having difficulty starting in fourth grade. And so I'm really kind of concerned. Also, we're, of course, meeting expectations. I'm thinking we're still meeting.
No, we're exceeding expectations
Elementary.
everywhere,
Everywhere.
everywhere as a district for the first time in years.
Okay.
There goes
So,
that
the
surprise.
third graders feel with an advantage.
Right, however, the scores aren't demonstrating that and they continue to slip under the state average. So I actually got a text message from someone in New Berlin that kind of congratulated Brown Deer. I guess there was some, that was shared out there, and Brown Deer was one of the, that was doing really well. And so I'm really proud of that. But we want to be able to be even more proud of where our students are. So I'm glad that we're meeting expectations. But a lot of times parents are looking at those grades and they're like saying, Brown Deer is excellent to my kid for first through fifth grade. However, do I really want to send my kid to Brown Deer for sixth through 12th grade? And I just don't want us to have a situation where, while we see the growth, there is growth, just kind of stepping up our game somehow. And I have some suggestions for how to do that as well. One of the things that my daughter always was frustrated with me about, I was like, what are you doing? Sitting in class? I mean, you get those reports every day of whether or not they're doing anything good. I just wish that there was some way for us to be able to communicate some positive things or growth that students are doing along the way so that they can feel better about themselves as well, even those small milestones, and maybe doing some goal setting with the students. It's like, okay, I noticed that you were here at this particular point. Let's have a chart, and let's see where you are on the chart. They have charts for behavioral. What about for academic? So what I'd like to see.
All right, let's go ahead and continue.
Okay, we're gonna shift to mathematics. Again, it's third through eighth grade. We look at Wisconsin Forward, and 9th through 11th is a pre-ACT secure in the ACT. This is for the Wisconsin Forward. Our third grade team increased from 61.6 to 76.1. That's a 14.5% increase. 76% of third graders are meeting or advanced in mathematics. Fourth grade had an increase of 1.9, even though the state decreased. Fifth grade had a dip, 5.5%. The state also went down. Same with sixth grade. In seventh grade, we had a 10% increase where the state only had 2. Eighth grade, we had an 18.1% increase, where the state decreased.
There you go, Ms. Bacon, ain't that what you was just talking about? There it is.
We're 2, what is it, 3 points-ish behind the state in mathematics in eighth grade. BDE scored 53.9% and the state was 52.8. Brown Deer Elementary outperformed the state of Wisconsin in mathematics.
The one thing I always turn around and say, regardless of whatever happens, and this is something that was said to me way back, years and years and years ago. The ELA part is kind of subjective, but math is universal worldwide. 1 + 1 is equal 2. I don't care where you're from. But again, what I'm saying, so those right there, that's something that's really, really telling to me is the math piece, you know what I mean? And us being able to do that and our kids getting the showing the strongest growth changes when it comes to the math part as well, to being able to do that and stuff. So, yeah. And close to average. Well, we're getting closer to the state averages and stuff like that. But when you start to look at where the rest of the state is in the red and we're pretty much in the green and going 14.5, 10, 18. I mean, like, those are significant growth changes.
So this is our 9th, 10th, and 11th graders. We've had positive change in 9th grade and 11th grade. The state also had positive changes. So I feel like we yeah, we're both growing. The state outperformed us this time.
So the question becomes then what is, what do we, in terms of the 10th graders?
Well, so last year's 9th graders were our first grade that was splitting their time between algebra and geometry.
Okay.
And last year's 10th graders did only geometry. So when we looked at the pre-ACT secure item analysis, 10th graders did well in geometry, but they had lost their algebra. That shouldn't happen this year because this year's 10th graders are last year's 9th graders, and they're doing the other half of algebra and the other half of geometry, so they won't have that gap. We're hoping that will change that dip. Are there any other questions on this slide? So I'm shifting, this is, AP. Over the last few years, the high school has had some very exciting increases in students participating in taking AP exams. You'll see the top chart on the left. In 2021, we had 31 students take the AP exam, or last year we had 99. On the bottom right, that's showing the number of students scoring a 3 or higher on an AP exam, and you'll see that's up by 20. So we're showing some serious, we have a serious celebration there as far as our AP goes.
Just a quick question, so is it still true, if you get a 3 on that AP exam, you can kind of opt out of the entry level classes in college? I think it's English and some other subject.
I think you get credit.
Or you pick the credit?
Yeah, each university is different. Like if you're going to Wisconsin, in some, for like AP calculus, they may need a 4.
Okay.
So, but you should get a college credit for it, but you would, it just depends on the university you're going to.
Okay.
All right, so the school report cards came out public today. We've been looking at the secure report cards, but we can share this publicly today. School report cards include outcomes in 4 priority areas: achievement, growth, a target group outcome, that would be your the bottom quartile of students on state assessments, and then on track to graduation. Those are our 4 areas. And these are the definitions. I'm not going to go through them all, but this is how these 4 things are defined. Defined. So this achievement and growth, and this is target group outcomes and on track to graduation. This is just the table showing what you need to score to get a minimum or a maximum. So meets expectations would need between 60 and 70.9. And exceeds expectation is 71 to 83.9. These were changed over the summer. They were increased. Brown Deer Elementary. So this is the comparison between 2024 and 2025. The top is 23-24. The bottom is 24-25. They are 4 stars, exceeds expectations school for the 3rd year. Brown Deer Middle High School in 23-24, they were at 65.5. They increased by 4.2 to 69.7. There still meets expectations, but 71 exceeds expectations. So they're super close.
Very good.
School District of Brown Deer. In 23-24, we were at 67.6. We are all the way up to 71.2. I just wanted to put a few celebrations in here. For elementary school, BDE is 4.4 points behind the state for students performing at proficient or advanced levels. And they are 0.9% ahead of the state for students identified with special needs.
All right.
In mathematics, 55.8% of scholars performed at the proficient or advanced level, outperforming the state by 2%. In mathematics, 78% of third graders performed at the proficient or advanced level.
All right.
Middle high school, ELA and math scores showed a decrease in the percentage of students in the developing category. That is your bottom quartile.
That's huge.
And an increase in the percentage of students in the meeting or advanced categories. So they're reducing their bottom and increasing their top. That showed the greatest improvement, especially eighth grade.
Yeah.
High school advanced placement increased the number of students taking AP exams and increased the number of students scoring a 3 or higher. In the ACT, the student performance over time is going from 14.3 to 17.4. And the Wisconsin forwards at its 11-year high at 37.7% of students at the proficient or advanced levels. And that is it for me.
All right. So there we go. Questions? I know Dr. Cotton, I think you got something you want to turn around and say. You got some words you want to say right now? Since we just went over this.
As always, I just want to thank staff for all of their hard work and getting our children here and getting us to this where we need to be. And we've got a lot of more work to do, but to that exceeding expectation, it's so doable here. It's a great thing. So I just want to congratulate staff. I want to congratulate students for all of their hard work in this as well. So
Definitely.
kudos to everyone.
Oh, yeah. Dr. Jackson, go ahead.
Put a cherry on top. Receiving this data today, we got together and we did a comparative analysis. And this is really the big picture of what this data is saying. From 2021 to 22, we were at 61.9 meeting on the state report card. Today, we're at 71.2. That is almost a 10-point increase. On average, schools or district increase by 2 to 3. We have a growth rate right now of 4.7%. When we look at what we call our peer districts, districts that have similar numbers, similar ethnicity groups, we outscored them all. So we scored above Cudahy, we scored above St. Francis, Glendale, River Hills. And when we take into consideration school district like Whitefish Bay, right, that have, or Mequon Thingsville, who has like 1.1% disadvantage, we outscored their growth rates. And so we're doing a phenomenal job. I'm proud of this district. I'm proud of the staff. I believe that the work that we're doing over the next couple of years, once we get ourselves together and in sync, I believe that this 4.7 growth rate will double. Yeah, so, yeah, thank you.
Go ahead, Ms. Ashley.
And if I may, I like what I heard in terms of just the data analysis and how you are going to really begin to figure out how we are going to improve those areas that are showing us challenges and getting ahead and having those conversations early so that we can, you know, start to continue to see the progression of work, right?
Lead the state.
Don't discount Brown Deer.
Don't discount.
Man, I need a favor. Board member, stand up, please. Read this. As the president of the school board, man, I appreciate what our board does. See, because again, if the board doesn't do what we need to do, and being able to bring on our talent, to be able to lead us, to be able to get us there, ensuring that we've got the dollars to make sure that we can expose our students and being able to give our students some of those different things that they need. For us being stewards of the money, being able to do this and our hiring practices and everything else like that. Board, you guys deserve, you deserve round of applause as well too for what you guys do. And for all of these people that might be listening, for all of the time that the school board puts in, that some people don't think that we do, for all of that time and effort and leadership and being able to do all those different things or whatever have you, from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate you guys and thank you so much for what you do. So,
Thank you.
man, this is one of those, okay, meeting adjourned. And then let's talk about that. But yeah, but no, real good. Thank you, Ms. Robin. I know you're ready to go home now. But yeah, this information right here is great. And this is what makes being a board member, you know, that piece that puts that smile on your face, because now you know that we're going down the right path. We're on our way. We're on our way, and we're only gonna do better and continue to succeed. So yes, thank you. So let's go on to our next item, unless somebody else has something else they needed to say.
You know what, and it's really good to be able to see all of these numbers. I attended the meeting this morning, and it was like I didn't see any of these numbers, so it was kind of like, what was going on? So it was a little different, but.
Right. But I think that Dr. Cotton, I know that we were talking about potentially something big to
Well,
publicize it.
Well, we have a letter that's going out publicly tomorrow. We've displayed it on our marquee. When you drive out, you'll see it where Donna put it up this morning.
Awesome.
And we did a celebration with the staff on November 4th, which was our PL day. We invited all of them to a breakfast that was just for them, where we told them Dr. Glass led it and thanked them for all of the work that they had done. And I know BDE celebrated today down there together. They had breakfast as well. And they also have T-shirts that are coming up that say basically that they are three-peating. They got a three-peat going with their exceed expectations. So I think the staff will get
Well,
those.
wait, I did that wrong. At first I did like this, I'm like, oh, God, help me. Wait, 1, 2, 3. And you know when you're ready to do it. That's an inside one right here. Some people don't want to talk about, but yeah, I can't do it that way. That ain't work. But yeah, and then also I think that's something that we need to add into our village and school district meeting. Put that in there, and then also make sure that we get it in the Brown Deer magazine.
It's on there, and it is, we already are. The next magazine that comes out, I believe, is the winter edition, and Katie did write up a big article in regards to this. So you will see it, even though it came out today, we were able to put it in, so it will be in the Village magazine that's coming out, the next edition of that.
So all board members should just so you know that the information could not become public until today.
Until today.
Yeah, so yeah, it's been under wraps for weeks and everything else like that. So today was the first day that it could actually be shared and publicized to everybody or whatever have you and stuff like that. And so like today is that smile day for me. But we started talking about Brown Deer to be able to do this, because we haven't been a district that has exceeded expectations as a district for the last 5, 6 years. So
We're doing good coming out of the pandemic. I think we did well in the pandemic, considering coming out of the pandemic.
There's just a lot of hard work here going on every day. It's good.
Yes.
Staff puts in a lot of stuff.
Definitely. All right, so let's go on to number 4, managing finances, facilities and operation. Approval of the school lunch consideration. I think Dr. Kyle, you're gonna lead this and then go to Mr. Paul.
I am. Good evening, board again. The administration would like to share with the Board of Education and our listening audience, the school district of Brown Deer cares deeply about the well-being of our students and families, and wants to ensure that no child goes through the school day hungry or without access to nutritious food. A letter was provided to all families on October 29, 2025, stating the district's understanding of the recent cancellation of SNAP benefits, creating unexpected challenges for many families in our community. This letter provided information regarding a list of local food pantries within close proximity of our community that could offer support. Also included was information regarding blessings in a backpack, explaining what the program entails and whom to contact if interested. The Blessings in a Backpack is a weekly program that sends home additional snacks with our students to enjoy over the weekend. The program helps offer assistance for nutritious food outside of the school hours. And here again, if you are interested in learning more about this program and how to participate, please contact Kelly Schuster. At the bdeptc@gmail.com. With the help of our parent, thank you. With the help of our Parent Advisory Council or PAC and community volunteers, the district will be the host of a new food pantry. The Brown Deer Food Pantry will not only serve our school community, but anyone in the village that may be in need of food assistance or other household supplies. This initiative was kicked off with the village-wide food drive to stock the pantry before its opening. Collection bins were set up in the village hall, the Brown Deer Library, and all three of our schools and the district office. The district pantry will be housed in our concession stand down here, the lower one, used for sporting events. A donation list was shared on Parent Square. The anticipated first day of distribution of canned food items will begin this Thursday, the 13th, from 4:30 to 6 p.m. And disbursements of items will continue until food supply runs out. And I really would like to thank the PAC for helping to organize this. They were here this Saturday, getting food together in the concession stands. We collected all the food, brought it down there, and they put it all together. So big shout out to our PAC Booster Club for that. On November 4th, the communication was sent to families regarding various school and community programs available to support the rising concern of food insecurity. Our students and teachers have gotten involved by sharing their expertise in food collection and creating donation contests amongst the classrooms. The district is proud to be the host of the Brown Deer Food Pantry and will do what we can to support it moving forward. Lastly, the administration understands the unprecedented conditions some families may be currently facing. Anxiety surrounding food insecurity is on the rise, and the need is greater than ever for the district to do our role in supporting access to nutritious meals for our students and to help relieve the additional stress placed on families during this climate of uncertainty. The administration is seeking board approval for the use of Fund 10 to cover the cost of lunches for all students for the months of November and December. Removing the cost of lunch during this short time will help to provide additional financial stability and emotional support for families across our three schools. While we acknowledge some students and families may be more in need than others, by eliminating the cost of lunch for all, it creates an even playing field and gives families with the opportunity to use those funds wherever their family deems most essential to them. We ask you to consider this through the lens of our 4 pillars. By using Fund 10 for this purpose, we are managing finances, facilities, and operations, providing safe and healthy schools, and further connecting our schools, families, and communities. Let this be a representation of the district's commitment to our students and families and putting our mission and vision into action. I've asked Mr. Paul to share the financial impact this decision would have on the district. Mr. Paul?
So estimated, we would need about 10,850 meals between that timeline. That would equate to about $32,000, 550. That would cover November 1st through December 19th.
So it's just lunch,
Because remember, we have universal free breakfast.
but just, a number just saying so.
Mr. Paul, can you, remember I asked you, can you give it that additional breakdown?
Yeah, so I took October's paid meals and divided them by 21 days that they served the meals. To get a call, or 350 per day was our paid meals. And I multiplied that by 31 days to get our 32,550 for the total cost of those meals.
No, I was just thinking the 10,000, saying like that's a lot of meals.
Yeah.
Do we have students that are reduced like that?
Yes,
So this is including everybody. So
if it reduced, it would be $900, but that's coming right out of Fund 50. DPI, per DPI, we couldn't do that. We couldn't pay for paid meals on Fund 50, so we'd have to use a Fund 10 transfer before reduced and set that cost, so we couldn't use Fund 50 money for that.
And so the big thing in relationship to this, trying to being able to do this is because we know this whole thing with the federal shutdown or whatever have you, we don't necessarily really know how many of our families are being affected by this directly or indirectly. But we feel as though as a district, this is something that we can turn around and we can do to be able to help our families during this time. And being able to do this because again, you don't know about people that potentially could have been federal workers or receiving work in social service agencies or education whose money is being held right now, so weren't eligible for that. So instead of trying to go through all of this paperwork and all the rest of these different things or whatever have you, as a district, we trying to show how much that we care. We trying to figure this thing, we're trying to figure this thing out just like everybody else. Because anybody could have got hit by this. Us each sitting around this table could have been hit by this and our financial circumstances could have changed in an instant because some people just don't care. So with this happening right here, I think this is kind of letting our community know that we care. We're working with you. We're all trying to work together. I like to think like Ms. Schuster and the PAC and everybody else. I mean, if you turn around and you start looking at the blogs and everything else like that people are donating food left and right here in Brown Deer. You know, that's why I always keep saying Brown Deer strong because, you know, we care about each other. That's why I always say it's family business because right now we're all trying to help each other during this time or whatever. And as a district, I think it's important for us to be able to look at this thing as well too, and being able to try to support our families and everything and stuff. So that was kind of the onus of even trying to look at this thing and trying to figure out how we can pay for it.
A couple of clarifying questions. So it looks like this would be from November 1st through the Christmas holiday. So then are we reimbursing families for what they've already paid for November?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. And then my other question is, so the 10,850 meals covers the students who gets free and reduced as well?
Those are paid meals. So then our reduced meals are 40 cents a meal. We'll cover that through Fund 50. It will cost 900, and then obviously free meals are.
What was the last part you said? I'm sorry.
Free meals, they get the free meals.
Okay.
Board members, any other questions in relationship to us trying to be able to provide this service and being able to pull these dollars out, being able to help with our families? Any other questions for Dr. Cotton or Mr. Paul?
With the upcoming holidays, it's a great.
Yeah.
Gesture.
Yeah, and I think, you know,
Our family.
yeah, and you take this on top of our great news that we got today or whatever in relationship to exceeding expectations and yeah, like I said before, family business, ladies and gentlemen, family business. So with that being said, would someone like to make a motion?
I'd like to make a motion. And buy free lunches for the school district of Brown Deer students from November 1, 2025 to December 19th, 2025.
All right, thank you very much. Ms. Ashley, motion made. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, thank you, Ms. Wells. Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? Here you see none. All in favor, raise hand and or aye. Any opposed? Here you see none. Motion carries unanimously, 7-0. All right, Mr. Paul, got your money to be able to do this, Dr. Cotton? Let's get it.
Thank you.
All right, sounds good. All right, let's go on to our next item, our item 4B, discussion approval of middle school athletic admission fees. Would that be Dr. Cotton or would that be Mr. McGregor?
I'm going to start out and then Mr. McGregor is going to come in. The administration seeks your approval for a middle school athletic admission fee. The admission fees collected at the middle school athletic events would be used school-wide incentives around attendance and achievement, as well as the cost for future field trips. These types of incentives stress to our students the importance of hard work and regular school attendance. We have found that our students are proud when they have earned the incentive. It means a lot to them when we recognize their efforts in a way that they find valuable. It's also believed that these for the sorry, you guys, able to attend field trips regardless of their financial situation. The athletic admission would allow us to ensure that all students participate in all of our school field trips. And I would now like to turn it over to Mr. McGregory to add additional context regarding this request. Mr. McGregory.
Good evening, board. Hope everybody can hear me. So in having a meeting with Ms. Washington, the middle school principal, she asked me about making this ask and request, as Dr. Cotton alluded to, has the reason as to why. So as you hopefully read the document that was submitted, basically we're looking to charge $3 for adults and $2 for students K-12, and children 5 or under will get in free. And of course, staff who have a staff ID would also get in free. And I think Dr. Cotton explained it best in terms of what those dollars would do. And as we've been trying to increase opportunities in terms of creating a pipeline, these dollars will also go to help to offset some costs for additional equipment and different things like that.
So these are events that are currently already free.
So we never charged before. And as we've been trying to expand what we offer in the district, there's additional costs we have been incurring in terms of like equipment, uniforms and different things like that. And our budget was never really structured to support what we've been trying to do for the past couple of years.
And then what happens for students who may not have?
May not have.
But they want to attend an event?
So in middle school, there's really nothing that's required other than paying the $2 fee. Like, I don't believe you have to show an ID, because I'm not sure in the middle school if they have IDs or not. I know in the high school, we use a virtual ID called Minga. If I'm understanding your question correctly.
So, Mr. McGregor, quick question then. Okay, so students, K through 12, it's $2 for them to come to a middle school event?
Yes.
Okay, because I didn't know if they showed a student ID or whatever have you, did they get into the events for free? Or is this just for any and everybody, period, point blank? For any student?
And everybody. Any and
Okay.
everybody.
So $2 for the students and $3 for adults?
Correct. And 5 and under is free.
And it sounds like from reading this that other school districts charge to get into their events.
Always, they've
Right,
always
so I'm
had.
just, for perspective.
They always have. We've
We
just,
haven't, other
we haven't.
districts do.
right, we
So-
haven't ever since back when we took away all of the fees before, when we were doing everything, we never actually really re-implemented back again for middle. I just think that right
yeah.
now, we've been trying not to do it and stuff, but I think from a
Right.
budget standpoint, we done kind of got there now
Right.
or whatever. I don't know, questions, I don't know, did you, Ms. Robinson, did you get your question answered?
No, but I just, because $2 seems minimal. But I'm just thinking, like, if you have a student that wants to get in and they don't have $2, what's the process?
If that's me, I've been the type where you can work for me and do something like sweep the floor in terms of before the game, let you in. There's other things that you can do, I think, as an adult or a staff person, where you don't want to prevent a kid from being able to come, but finding something that they can do that's kind of like bartering, I guess, if that makes sense. That's how I would handle it if I'm working that or overseeing that.
Whatever is reasonable for us to do in that situation, I think that should be something that's thought about ahead of time.
I could bring this up to Ms. Washington in regards to if a kid really has a hardship with paying. How do we get around that? What can we do to offer?
I know Ms. Farrington was getting ready to ask a question, but in my mind, I'm thinking, how many
Yeah.
middle school events are there that students would actually end up having to pay? So is there like 5 events, so they would need like a $10 voucher or something like that? Or is it, how are we kind of looking at this? Because I'm thinking if we could kind of package and be like, okay, it's kind of like how we got the passes, right?
Gotcha.
If we have like the student passes and be like, okay, middle schoolers, for your middle school pass, I'm just throwing it up $20 or something like that for the year or something. I don't know. I'm just throwing numbers out there. Would that be something that would be feasible or something that we may be able to do? And parents can actually kind of I ain't gonna say put it on a payment plan or something like that or whatever. But is that something potentially that could be added into school fees in the beginning of the school year or something like that or whatever? So I know Miss Farrington was next. I kind of jumped her, and then we'll go to Miss Ashton.
So, we must be on the same brainwave, because that was exactly what I was gonna say. So like, for the high school, as parents, you can buy your booster pass for all home games. So maybe after you guys figure out the calculation of if you came to every middle school event, like same thing, a booster pass for the middle school kids.
That's a great suggestion. Since this is new, we haven't talked about that with the Booster Club. So I'm quite sure that's something that could possibly incorporate into a booster pass, but I would have to talk with them. I know we have a meeting tomorrow.
I was,
Ashley.
I was thinking the same, and I went to the other group, what is it, the PAC group, the
parent
PAC
group.
group, the parent, right, because oftentimes for instance, we charge students to attend, they have graduation fees, right? Some students, it is a significant hardship. And so we have a contingency fund so that we don't allow anybody not to partake in, graduation, particularly when they earn it. But if they don't have that $50, we're not gonna say you can't graduate. We figure out a way. There's contingency funds that we have. There are parents sometimes who will step up. There were even staff who will cover. And I'm here to say, if there's any student in middle school who wants to go to a game and can't, they can see me.
Yeah.
Right, it's like,
Again, and that's why the thing in relationship to potentially being able to do the pass and or it's something that goes into the school fees in the very beginning of the year, so parents know that is part of the school fee or whatever have you. If they want to add it onto their school fee, or if they don't want it, they don't have to pay for it. But again, it can be offered in the very beginning of the school year when everybody's really trying to put all of their stuff together and being able to do it. And you're already trying to put your budget together for your school fees. It's got to happen or whatever. So if this is another $20 or $30 you got to turn around and do or something like that, potentially you're trying to be able to try to work it out in that shape, form, or fashion or whatever. Hey, but again, like we always try to say, we're not trying to exclude anybody from anything or whatever. But again, the same token, everything is costing these days and stuff. And I think we've really tried our best not to charge our students a lot of different fees and a lot of different things or whatever. But again, we're here where we're at. Ms. Farrington, you had another question?
Yeah, there are organizations that our kids participate in outside of school, and some of those students are receiving like scholarship or monies or whatever, but it's not free. You have to volunteer your time, and if you can't come, I'll take your grandmother. If your grandmother can't come, I'll take your adult sibling. And so maybe this is something too where, Gerald, if you're charging, now you have to have somebody sitting at that table taking money. So, that sounds like another cost. So like, is it like every program, the families get together and help with that? So that's not an additional cost to have somebody at every table? And then kids can volunteer with their parents, or if you're just a regular kid and no sports you want to attend, is there volunteer?
Kind of like what we do with for our boys or whatever. We always had to volunteer the concession stands. It was mandatory that, as parents, what I'm saying, there was certain stuff or whatever. So we volunteered at the concession stand. I remember turning around and carrying the yard markers and stuff on the football field, score table, whatever and stuff, so anything or whatever. So potentially, there may be other avenues, but Mr. McGregor, I don't want to hold you up on this because I know it's something that you're trying to kind of come up with. Quite sure you guys are going to come up with some other alternatives for those individuals that don't need it. But for right now, we need to move forward and potentially being able to do this. So again, board, do you have any other questions in relationship to this? And I think we think about some of the other logistical pieces after to be able to do it? Or is this something we want to put on hold? All right, then, would somebody like to make a motion then?
To approve spectator admission fees for all home middle school athletic events as presented.
Thank you very much, Ms. Welch. Motion made. We got a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Sperry. The motion made a second. Any other further discussion? Here to see none, all in favor, raise hand and or aye. Anybody opposed? All right, motion carries unanimously 7-0.
Thank
right.
you.
All right, let's go on to our next item. Discussion and approval of the Dan Gable, Donnybrook Wrestling invite. So I take again, would this be you, Mr. McGregory?
Yes, it will be. Last year, the board approved us to go to this tournament for the first time. Our wrestling program has really taken off since we started it back in 2018, 2019. We really have grown. We do co-op with two other schools, which is Mesmer and Brown Deer. Brown Deer currently has 16 kids registered to participate in this year's wrestling team. We're anticipating to have about 33 participants. And this year, we have we got 4 returning wrestlers. 2 of the 4 are ranked in the state, I believe, in the top 10 in their weight class. A lot of anticipation for this year's wrestling team to be able to produce some state champions, if not a team state championship. This opportunity to travel to Iowa is one of the largest Midwest tournaments for our kids to participate in and to really kind of see how good we are. And so we're asking if the board would match what was allotted for last year, which was we asked for $5,000, not to exceed $5,000. And I believe last year's total came to $4,468.20. Those dollars covered the entry fee of $500. It covered food and lodging, and then the gas, because we took vans down to Iowa. This tournament would take place December 4th through the 6th. It was, like I said, a great opportunity for our kids to showcase Brown Deer and to compete in a large invite one of the largest invite in the Midwest. Any questions from the board in relations to this ask?
Gerald, do we have any of our returning young ladies going to this wrestling tournament this time?
This year, we won't have any of our girls participating because I think we're at like 8, so we don't have a full squad of girls that I'm aware of just yet. So this year will just be our boys going. So we'll be taking 14 boys down for this tournament.
Questions for Mr. McGregory? Would someone like to make a motion?
Yes, I would like to make a motion to approve out-of-state travel for the school district of Brown Deer wrestling team to the Dan Gable Donnybrook Wrestling Invitational in an amount not to exceed $5,000.
All right, thank you very much, Ms. Hallmark. Motion made. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right. Bacon, all right, any discussion? Outside, let's go win this thing. All right, all in favor, raise hand and or aye. Any opposed? Here you see, motion carries unanimously 7-0. Let's go get it,
Thank
baby.
you, board.
Let's get it.
Thank you.
All right, sounds good. All right. All right, let's go on to our next item, number 5, our safety report. Mr. Russ.
Good evening, board. Overall, well, I'm just giving you guys a little bit of safety update. The IT department and facilities department have started the implementation. I think you're rubbing off.
Let's go ahead, you're gonna say it 5 times real fast.
Implementation of the new door security for this computer. We have 5 doors that we're initially starting off with here at the district. We've started with the Bricata system, which, as you guys currently know, is the camera system that we are currently using. We are trying to ensure that the main entrances of our buildings are secure, and the enhancement of this will be advantageous for everyone here at the district. So we started off with 5 doors. And we're doing this because we're having several security issues with our current vendor. So we want to make sure this is gonna be a good fit for all. Currently, we have that we're gonna be starting off with the middle school main entrance, the high school main entrance, the pool vestibule area, the field house area, and then one at the elementary main entrance. Does anyone have any questions?
Okay, these doors,
Yes.
exactly, could you, because I'm reading this and I'm trying to understand, like, okay, so is it like a new type of a door? Is it just a security system piece that goes to it, or what is it?
The access. So the fob system that you currently use, you fob into the building and you
Mhm.
walk in. And we create door unlocks for our events as well. That all we're doing is we're replacing or updating or upgrading those systems. So that, you know, we can have better access and better control of the doors.
Ms. Turner, you, that's you.
So the company, so there's a controller, which is like a computer in a way that we can program, right? And then our current vendor, they do it from Chicago. And so anytime they need to set something or there's a delay, the company's been bought out. And so if there's been a merger and then loss of yes, nightmare, right? So, and then we've been kind of victim of that. And one of our goals, from in terms of our 5-year plan, and as we start to look toward referendum, we're looking toward like interoperability, right? And so Verkada does have a door system. Part of the reason why it is extremely affordable. We're just swapping out like the back end hardware because the same hardware works. The door strikes, like the things that we fob into and our actual fobs, all of that works, that comes across. One of the benefits of this system is that when you fob into the door, it takes a picture. So it's, so this is kind of our we're just so our high stakes entries. So when I had a conversation with Matt saying like, what ones are the ones that you really are struggling with that are the most important? Okay, so then there were 4 at the middle school and middle high school. And then, and that's why you see 2 separate quotes then. And then we said like, well, actually there's really an issue with the elementary school too. So let's just test this out and see what happens. And so this is kind of that first step to where we're kind of trying it, to see if this is a system then that might be something, because whether we write for a COPS grant, whether this is part of the referendum piece, like to secure some of those other doors that we have those concerns on, but it'll also, we can alarm the other doors. So when it goes out or when something's open or if there's something left ajar, it can take pictures. So that's future coming, but the hardware is the same. And so it just is, it's just a nice test. And then the next level would then be kind of like the airphone that we use when we ring the doorbell and you've got the camera, right? So then that then also takes a picture and then you're in the system and then it can also help track you as you're in the building. So as we start to escalate and increase kind of some of those security pieces, this is one of those things. So, yeah.
So basically, a teacher or administrator has a file and they use the file.
Yep.
They're gonna take a picture of the person using the file.
Correct.
Well, it will be not without the strike. So it means though that it'll say that this person was in there and then it'll if a door is left ajar or there's an incident, we can then it's timed. So the camera is tied to that door. So yeah, so I guess in a way, right?
Right. So again, I'm sitting there thinking to myself, we're in an open meeting right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So there's so it just creates some just a little bit increased safety that we can do. Plus it's a portal that are tied to our camera systems and everything so that we can control the door access, which is a huge benefit compared to what we do now.
we did a test while we were having the doors, kind of the quote, done. And I just said, well, let's just kind of mess around and find out. And I opened the door and Matt got a call 15 minutes later, like it should be immediate. And then with the Verkada system, we get an alert on our phones. We know exactly what's going on. So,
Okay.
and we could tie it to a camera.
Okay.
And it has been truly a test to, like, if we were to actually have some sort of incident, right now, it takes our current system up 5 minutes to upload any changes.
Okay, all right. All right, this is going with Verkada, who we do all of this other, we bought all of the cameras from and everything. So they're not trying to give this to us for free?
Right?
That was.
Because they may turn around and ask, didn't we say we gave at the office?
I am gonna be speaking with Verkada at Brainstorm, so we're gonna be doing a session, so but I think we are definitely probably a model school for them, so there should be some benefit to that should we move forward in the future with bigger projects. So I feel like this is a very fair price for what we're having done. And what we've done is we've bought a bigger back end, like a bigger computer, so that we could do more doors. So we won't have to upgrade the computer, so to speak, so we can add more doors to that very seamlessly.
Okay.
So, yeah,
All right.
okay.
So I get it, right, that Verkada is what we're using, right, for cameras and such, right? So, but was this the only vendor that you got a quote from, or you did get quotes from other vendors?
So no, so this is the only one because we wanted to tie it to the current system that we use. So Sonatrol or it is now Securitas, yes, right, is the old vendor. So those are kind of the two big dogs out there. But looking at, again, so great question though, but like as we're concerned with the interoperability, we want something that we can use, because then we can use it for our visitor management system and then, our security access, but then also potentially they do have a product that we may want to look at, that we've actually given them advice on how to do this, right? Is like in terms of emergency management, reunification, how we use Raptor. So yeah, all of those things. So yeah.
All right, would someone, no, this is information.
Just information.
Okay.
Yeah.
Information.
So
So are you gonna bring us something in the future? Are you gonna bring us something in the future, or what's going on with this?
No, we'll tell you about it. Yeah, so we can kind of tell you, I think that where this is again, just the test. So and part of this was to see in advance of potential referendum, looking at the other door safety pieces and things like that.
So this would be something we'd be looking at potential as part of the referendum?
We would, sir.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right,
so the
thank you.
bigger pieces, yeah.
Okay, all right, sounds good. Thank you.
So the cost that you provided us is just for the test, or is the test free?
No, this is
This
just,
is just like we're gonna do it for the doors here, yeah, but the other doors, because they're stagnant, those aren't on lock schedules, those are just stayed, so to speak. So those are not really an issue, so these were kind of the high priority ones to see. But potentially we could move forward with other projects, so that makes sense.
Or we don't have to approve it because of the cost, the dollar amount.
Yeah, we did
Okay.
2 separate projects at that point, yeah. So-
okay.
But yeah, we're good. Thank you. We'll let you know, all right? And so hopefully it'll work. You're trying to get in for an event and somebody forgets something, we can just do it right there, right? It should be helpful.
Matt, anything else?
I'm good for it.
All right, sounds good. All right, let's go on to our next item, our item number 6, our Connected Schools, Families and Community. The State Education Convention, January 21st to the 23rd, out at the Baird Center. So I guess that would be Dr. Khan, or would that be Ms. Ross?
Right now, I'm just.
Our fine snack maker.
Church.
Okay, go ahead, Ms. Ross.
Right now, I just wanting to know if any of you plan to attend. If you do, get the early bird registration rate, let me know so we can get everybody registered before that deadline of December 15th. Registration open as of November 4th, so.
Right.
But there are currently accepting registrations.
Well, I was gonna say, well, put me down, Ms. Ross, and again, we all know how important this is for us to go, and it's always a good time. Always a good time, there's excellent, sessions. Only thing I'm upset about this year is that we submitted to be able to be presenters this year, and we were denied.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, not denied, we were not selected at this time.
So we were not selected, but we did submit two proposals. Ms. Turner was one that submitted a proposal and was not selected, so
Right.
we'll still keep trying.
Yeah, we'll keep trying, we'll keep trying.
Yeah, the art part of it just came out again, and I forwarded that on to my art teachers, which I had done previously, but just to see if they'll be in contact with students to see if they are willing to participate with it. Because it's themed, and so they know. I don't know that we'll be represented, if that's what you're really getting.
So board members, if you are, please let Ms. Ross know so Ms. Ross can turn around and do the registration. Ms. Ross definitely put me down or whatever. And, I think one of the things too is because we have, our day jobs and other commitment things or whatever, and we know that during this time is during the day. Again, if you're able to, please try to, and if not, we understand. Okay, but definitely put me down, Ms. Ross, and then any board member, just contact Ms. Ross and let her know about registering.
Okay, yeah, you too? Okay.
Generally, we probably usually register everybody, and everybody tries to come, even if you can't stay for the whole day, being able to come for some of the sessions and everything else like that. Because the other thing too is, as a board, we kind of break them up a little bit, be like, hey, you go to 4AC, you go to 3, and stuff, so we have all of the different information. Huh?
You know how you like to make a sign.
I know, that's that old teacher in me. I'd like to make assignments and stuff, but again, so that way we always cover or whatever, and any new information that's out there comes to us. All right.
Thank you. Right now I have board members who have asked me to register them. The other two, I will follow up. If I don't hear from you, I'll follow up at the next board meeting so we can get this taken care of.
All right, sounds good. Thank you very much. All right. All right, let's go on to our next item, our number 7, to go into roll call vote for closed session. We got somebody to make a motion. Yep.
I came in late, so I thought you guys skip it. I'm gonna make a
Good try.
motion to enter into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin State Statute 19.85, 1C. The Board of Education may move into closed session for the purpose of district administrator evaluation.
All right, thank you, Ms. Barrington. Motion made. We got a second? All right, thank you, Ms. Robinson. All right. Ms. Ashley.
Yep, we're ready. Okay, here we go. Vito.
Aye.
Daniels, Ashley, I. Bacon.
Aye.
Peterson.
Oops.
Oh, she.
I'm gonna be Anita. Where you at, girl?
Barrington.
Aye.
Omar.
Aye.
And Will. And Robinson.
Aye.
And the ayes have it 7-0.
All right.
We're going to close session.
Yep, going to closed session at this neck fight. At 7:32. All right, we will not be coming back into open session after this. So for everyone that's online with us, thank you so much for attending this District of Brown Deer School Board meeting. Enjoy the remainder of your evening and have an even better weekend. Thank you very much.